ready? Are we able to play? The old man said, son, you got to remember, a human can float on the sea. If you just stop hanging on to the bottom, you would rise up naturally. So I let go, it nearly killed me to do it. I'll be damned, it's true. And though I'm still a couple leagues from the surface, I see that sun is shining through. I see that sun is shining through. Sometimes I can feel the ground beneath my feet in times like these. I can't feel what the future is holding, but I feel you holding me. I feel you holding me. Took a trip, took a fall, took a long time to notice. We all trip and fall. Yeah, but somehow we drag ourselves back to our feet and walk on, and failing that, we crawl. And maybe it's the failures even more than the successes. Maybe it's these scars that mark our skins, yeah. Maybe it's this that can reconcile the differences and finally prove us kin. Sometimes I can't feel the ground beneath my feet in times like these. Can't feel what the future is holding, but I feel you holding me. I feel you holding me. La-da, la-da, da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da. Greg Krueger. Ah, look at those clouds drawing back from each other. I believe it's gonna be an early spring. And there's little green buds all over the tree out back, and the sap of life is in everything. Yeah, look at these kids, man, they're getting so big. But you and me, we're still reasonably young, oh yeah. Whoever thought I'd be this close to the finish line and feeling like I'd just begun. And when I can't feel the ground beneath my feet in times like these, I close my eyes and I let myself go. And I feel you holding me. I feel you holding me. Paula. La-da, la-da, da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da. It's called Nothing Left to Lose. I woke up this morning with a hole in my heart, shaped a lot like you. My brittle spirit broke apart, and light came pouring through. I know you gave me a treasure, it was more than I could use. Hey ho, away I go, I got nothing left to lose. Now the frost is crunching beneath my feet, the trees are like skeleton hands. The sky is hard as plated steel, and winter's on the land. Yeah, but somewhere a sun is painting gold across the roofs. Hey ho, away I go, I got nothing left to lose. Here's to the horn in the attic, the bell ain't never been rung, the poet punching some dead-end clock to die with her song unsung. Here's to the sway-backed houses, to the bramble and the rust. Somewhere there's a home for all of us. Well, I rang a stop sign like a gong with my big old clumsy head. I laughed to see the droplets fall, amazed that I still bleed red. After 30 years hard labor in a tank car full of booze. Hey ho, away I go, I got nothing left to lose. Records nobody plays, the girls don't think they're beautiful and turn themselves away. Here's to the windows glowing in the fading light of dusk. Somewhere there's a home for all of us. I sharpened my pencil on the sidewalk, thought up a couple words. I wrote them down on a bag I found and dreamed a couple chords. And a melody came winging, too natural to refuse. Hey ho, away I go. Hey ho, away I go. Hey ho, away I go. I got nothing left to lose. I say we do a Paula Fong song.
Hey everybody. Let's see.
But could we do one that I don't have to do an angry and extreme?
Sure. Which one would you like to do?
I don't know. You check. You choose it. I'm not controlling.
Okay. Would you guys like to hear sweet or a little more upbeat? Sweet. Okay. Dave, I was going to wait to talk about Dave till later in the set, but I can real quickly just say I've been so touched at how generous he's been in letting me play my music in his set, and so flattered. And this next song we're going to play is one of mine. It's called The Other Side of Sorrow, and it's one that I wrote with my former writing partner Tom Kell before he passed away. And it's the... I am going to play guitar on this one, right. And yeah, no, it's the title track to the last CD that we recorded. But yeah, it's a sweet one. Look across the valley at the other side of sorrow, as the sunlight lingers dancing across the sparkling rails. Listen for the echoed veil, the peal of long lost laughter, and remember all the joy that lived among these hallowed hills. May this prayer tide you over till the sun shines through. Let this melody be written in your ear. May you cry enough, die enough, have to say goodbye enough to learn to see the beauty through the fear. Look outside your window at the other side of heartache. Wonder where they rushed you, all those strangers passing by, living every shade of gray, with each his own shoulder. Part of you knows deep inside, ain't no use asking why. May this prayer tide you over till the sun shines through. Let this melody be written in your ear. May you cry enough, die enough, have to say goodbye enough to learn to see the beauty through the fear. In the moment that you find yourself among the broken pieces, when every new step forward is a mark upon the sand, and all that was will fade away, and what's to come uncertain. The only certain thing is that you'll finally understand. May this prayer tide you over till the sun shines through. Let this melody be written in your ear. May you cry enough, die enough, have to say goodbye enough to learn to see the beauty through the fear. May you cry enough, die enough, have to say goodbye enough to learn to see the beauty through the fear.
My toe found the bottom rung at 7 a.m. At the Happy Times liquor, my day to begin. That tough Chinese woman with a tear in her eye, as she bagged up and gave me my $3 pint. So I got a little in me and I headed for home, to the broke down collection of all that I own. I'll always remember that merciless sun, now that the drinking is done. Now that the drinking is done. Well, I met my muse in a bottle of wine on a hill in my hometown with those old friends of mine. She traded her swagger for my hesitancy, showed me the door and sold me the key. Ah, but I knew my ponies would run off the reins romance ran loose in my veins. Adventure as near as the twist of a cap. She's gone from me now and I can't have her back. Well, you should have seen me in my firebrand days. I'd charm all the women and I'd steal them away. And oh, how they cry when the big top blew down. I'd pull my stakes sadly and drift out of town. I'm lying, I'm skinny, I'm a year off the sauce, with a cake and a keychain and a round of applause. And some terrified kid can't stop shaking my hand, when all I can think is how thirsty I am. I only wish you'd have been there with me, dancing ecstatic through the sycamore trees, the light of an alcohol flame in our eyes, God in her heaven and the moon on the rise. Well, they tell me I'll love again, they tell me I'll laugh. They tell me that I'll get my confidence back, and maybe a lap or two still yet to run, now that the drinking is done, now that the drinking is done. Thank you, Justin. Count us in, Paula.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, brother, can you hear me? Oh, brother, is that you in the dark? Oh, brother, can you hear me? Oh, brother, oh, brother.
Oh, the things that we've been promised were never truly fair. When your eyes meet, it's clear the lack of worthiness there. I sing a one-note tune that dries bitter in my mouth, like an unseen ember burning ragged holes of doubt. Oh, brother, can you hear me? Oh, brother, is that you in the dark? Oh, brother, can you hear me? Oh, brother, oh, brother. What petty gifts are these to be discarded thus? Such pearls set before swine render folly treasonous. But now it's mine and yours are as it should have been. This glutton's whet his appetite on self-indulgent sin.
Is that you in the dark, oh brother? Can you hear me? Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother.
It's another Paula Fong song. It's an evening full of truths. Would Alexia, would you mind bringing me my? I have a little cup of Coke over there. Just a little soft drink that I brought with me. Oh yes. You know, I really do enjoy the products of the 7-Eleven Corporation, and I'm trying to get a sponsorship. Think about it, that'd be like $1 savings a day. Unsafe at any speed. All right, where are we? Faced down the animal that ate him from inside. Said you might get my body, but I won't give up my pride. He said, honey, let's just not tell anyone. They'll find out soon enough. You and me, we've got work to do before this gig is up. Went out on his own terms. If you were asking me, live each day like it's your last. Someday it will be. Well, they all look just like angels dancing in the disco light. Carlos and his lover on a perfect Florida night. Said, God, if you're gonna take me, go ahead and take me now. They thought it was the DJ when they heard the shots ring out. Any love is worthy love. If you were asking me, live each day like it's your last. Someday it will be. Just when you get your head up, it knocks you back down again. This year is like a reaper coming through the grain. Even in the broken husk, tender seed concealed. When in doubt, just give anything, no matter how you feel. What you got, Greg? Greg Krueger. Now life is long and troubled, but too short after all. I'm out walking on the saddleback, and there's no safe place to fall. When all my fights are settled, there's nothing more to say. Bury me 'neath the cherry tree and give the fruit away. Don't you wear no yoke or silver, no. Let your heart be free. Live each day like it's your last. Someday it will be. Live each day like it's your last. Someday it will be. Live each day like it's your last. Someday it will be. What about Kevin Reidy over here? This is his first time playing with us, other than a few rehearsals. So, very grateful for your effort. I'm going to find it really, really hard to underpay you. But, I mean, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the stress.
I'm so sorry to put it on you.
Insider talk.
Okay, so this next one we're doing is called Ophelia. Yeah, I read a book many years ago called Reviving Ophelia. And it was about, it made me think about it many years later after I read it, but it's about our young women and the hardships they go through and the things that we struggle with in society. And I wrote this thinking about my daughter and what I want for her moving forward, and how, there's just struggles that we keep going through over the years. And I think as women, we need to stand together and push back. So this one's called Ophelia.
Seems about right.
Won't you sing again for me, Ophelia? All the sorrow buried in your heart. For the watcher never sees in your eagerness to please. All the shame is merely sadness from the start. Your laughter floats on borrowed time, heady hope and cheapened wine. All at once we're taken in. We've lost you yet again. Oh, Ophelia, we lift you up to strike you down again. Oh, Ophelia, can you hear my broken heart's lament? Will you speak again for me, Ophelia? All the unsaid heavy in your heart. All the times you grit your teeth, summon courage up to speak, just to find the flame is swallowed by the dark. Your anger splashed across the page, spilling over zealous rage, swallowed up and hidden deep. Oh, the secrets you will keep. Oh, Ophelia, we'll lift you up to strike you down again. Oh, Ophelia, can you hear my broken heart's lament? How can I reach you, teach you, save you from the darkest lies we tell ourselves again and again? Will you pray again for me, Ophelia, for courage facing out, looking in, for the lost and silent one, and for those now yet to come? May all the faith lost be won back again someday.
Someday,
Ophelia, we lift you up to strike you down again. Oh, Ophelia, can you hear my broken heart's lament?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg, too.
I touched on the homeless thing a little bit earlier, but I wrote this song for a friend of mine, Beverly, who may or may not be watching out there in TV land. She had a previous husband before we started seeing each other, and he would call sometimes, and he had adult onset schizophrenia, and he was a man of very great accomplishment and status in the society and things like that, and he just unraveled gradually. And I'd hear her on the phone call, and she just kindly gave him just so much time, you know. But I thought, is there anything on earth more terrifying than having your brain turn against you into a place where you cannot determine any longer what's reality? So I wrote this song. I just imagine somebody. It's not him in this song or anything, but I just imagine somebody. And I was thinking of, it's odd that I've gotten to know you guys all so well, because I was thinking about San Pedro, and I imagined this place called Ocean Avenue and a certain person that lives there. Comes little John in his boho drag. He's knocking out a rhythm on his hip with a rolled up poetry rag. And there's Mrs. Wu with her parasol. Round the Guatemalan women on the bus stop reading People in Espanol. They all got big doings, everybody up and down the block. Important people waiting for 'em with one eye on the clock, set the floating few, like me and you, washing up like driftwood all along Ocean Avenue. I once loved a girl, her skin was smooth as silk. Kindness flowed from her fingertips like mother's milk. But I drove her off an inch at a time. That was either just before or maybe a little after I lost my mind. Now I put myself to bed at night, pray the Lord my soul to keep. Pull my knees up tight against my chest till my voices let me sleep, till the walls roll back and let me through, to drift along the rooftops above Ocean Avenue. If you want to sing with us, do. Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue. My mother was a beauty, filled with darkness and joy. She'd whirl me around and stand me on a chair, say, look at my sonny boy. He can be anything he wants to be. Yeah, but even then the knots were working loose inside of me. Now I stand before a picture on my wall, behind a glass of better times. The light shifts and it's only me there, with eyes as flat as dimes. I miss my mom, I miss my daddy too. Safe beneath the green grass, far from Ocean Avenue. Help us out. Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue. Keep that going. Na, na, Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue, Ocean Avenue. Memories? Thank you. All requests are honored, if only by myself, say. Nice idea. There is one more that we're going to do after. We're going to do one of Paula's, and I believe that I play on this one. We're going to get there. We'll do then that, and then we'll maybe do Adrenaline.
So we'll do one more of mine tonight. Thank you, Dave. This one is called As Memories Fade, and it is on the last album that I recorded. I lost my brother when I was 19, and I found that as the years passed, my memories of him, even though they were extremely bright and vivid, began to fade to a point where I couldn't really remember exactly how his face looked sometimes without a picture. And I think it's just something that happens over time. and it happens to everybody. You lose someone important to you, and you try as best you can to hold on to them. But that's what this song is called.
Paula Fong, everybody.
One, two, three times around, the seasons, they come and they go. Still I look, you can't be found, saving memories from so long ago. Once I saw your smile and everything, every mirror, your furrowed brow. Now I find those pictures dwindling, and when I reach, they evade me somehow. And I know you're watching me living, and I know you're gone but at peace, and I know through my grief there's forgiving, but knowing that won't bring you back to me. Now you've been gone for what seems like an age. In my head, all the words left unsaid. I pull out some paper, put the pen to the page, write, I miss you, but that's as far as I get. And I know you're watching me living, and I know you're gone but at peace, and I know through my grief there's forgiving, but knowing that won't bring you back to me. Oh, the rustle of leaves from the breeze of your breath turns my head. I look and there's nothing but wind. Your voice and your laughter were clear in my ears. Now you're gone and they're nothing but whispers. And I know you're watching me living, and I know you're gone but at peace, and I know through my grief there's forgiving, but knowing that won't bring you back to me. No, knowing that won't bring you back to me. Thank you, guys.
We're doing, this is a request. It's called PreciousOne. And,
Who requested it besides me?
well, I try to keep Greg happy.
I like this song. It's a good song.
It's a little bit of a chick flick, let's face it. It is. You know, I only get interested in romance once that it is good and truly over. But now and again, I will be struck by that little hopeful bloom and write a song about people who probably are not doomed. I don't know what that means either. It's late in the set. The coherency factor is falling precipitously. Have you noticed?
What's really in that big?
She comes up the back steps with her hands full of mail. The calico's hungry, weaves between her feet, throws out the junk, stacks the bills up with the rest. She opens a can, puts on a pot of tea. It's not that bad, she tells herself, the weather's good. I shouldn't let these little worries get me down. I need to be grateful for the good things in my life, but it sure would be sweet to have someone around who will be my oars in the current. Help me make sense of this when the day is done, and who will take my side even when I am not worthy? Who will be my precious one? He sits outside the church hall, frozen in his car. There's lights in the window, people moving there. On the breeze, the sounds of fiddles and guitars. He pulls down the visor, runs his fingers through his hair. How did I get here? He asks of his reflection. When did my father's face start looking back at me? There's scars on me for everyone I've ever loved. Can no one see I'm more than these? Who will be my oars in the current? Help me make sense of this when the day is done, and who will take my side even when I'm wrong? Who will be my precious one? How long do I hold out in the face of all this time? How long till they call the game, pack the hopes away, call it a day? She drives up Main Street an hour after sundown, the old church steeple black in a sky of purple blue. She pulls into the lot just as a man is pulling out. Their eyes lock for a second. Do I know you? Who will be my oars in the current? Help me make sense of this when the day is done, and who will take my side even when I'm wrong. Who will be my precious one? Who will be my precious one? Very kindly. You guys have been a wonderful audience. We're going to do one more song, and then I really want to share Robert with you for a song or two. And then we will go our merry way. Or we'll hang around for a little while. What do you think? You know, maybe toss some songs around? So good to see you, man.
I do hope you don't mind, Dave, if I just jump in real quick and say how much I appreciate you and have loved singing with you and feel like I've gained so much. And I don't want to talk too much because I'll probably start crying. But you all know Dave and you know how supportive he is and what a wonderful person he is. And so I'm kind of preaching to the choir. But yeah, I'm really glad I've got to know you better.
Well,
over the
so
past
am I,
year
Paul.
now.
It's really been a pleasure. And of course, when I found out that she couldn't fit us into her schedule anymore, one of the things was demonstrated the other day when you came up for practice and you were in the car for 2 hours before. 2.5 hours. It's just untenable to cross this town. And she's very, very busy, but I went to talk to Greg about it. I go, aren't you upset about our girl leaving the band? And he goes, I think we should just be grateful that we had her, that we had her along with us for 1.5 years. And I thought, yeah, okay. All right. I will take that. And, there's years out ahead for you. There's about 1.5 years out. I don't want to add any urgency, but, I wouldn't sit on this too long. But we'll get together. We'll do some shows together and things like that. You and your incarnation and mine, me and mine. For those of you who have noticed that the country is it's kind of at war. I wrote this song. I came to the understanding mostly by reading my own Facebook memory posts that come up, and I go, I don't even recognize that guy. What was he so mad at? And I realized that there's, if you were living in the wild, there would be no more crucial survival skill than being able to be instantly, murderously mad at somebody, because they are probably there to kill you, let's face it. And so you just got to be on the safe side. Adrenaline, it occurred to me that this aggression hormone is an addictive thing. Once we tap into it, we start tapping into it pretty frequently, we get addicted. So I wrote this song, and it's kind of set in a post-apocalyptic landscape. And I imagined a shell-shocked guy finding his way home through the blighted landscape to the woman for whom he believes he went and did all this killing and dying. And her name is Adrenaline. So she's a Southern belle. So it's not a funny song, but I thought we'd get the laugh out of the way. When the war was over, let me clear my throat, hang on. And when the war was over, they mustered out my pay. I tracked a broken compass through the fields of gray, where the blackened hearths and steeples stood like mourners at the graves of every worthy thing we'd fought to save. I stopped to dip some water, to scrub my skin with sand, but I could not wash the bloodstains from my hands. Adrenaline, I was your champion, and you my sacred call. To protect the life we loved, I'd gladly kill them all. Now my sword is in its scabbard, but I would wield it one more time, just to feel you in my arms, adrenaline. No rifle shots, no cannon, no trumpets did I hear. So absolute the quiet, I thought I'd lost my ears. Across the miles of wreck and ruin, where his men had died and killed, untouched, the governor's mansion stood upon a hill. I stopped to chase a reason through the mazes of my mind, but nothing worth the losses could I find. Adrenaline, I was your champion, and you my sacred call. To protect the life we loved, I'd gladly kill them all. Now my sword is in its scabbard, but I would wield it one more time, just to feel you in my heart, adrenaline. Greg Krueger. Neath the tree my father planted to shade his resting bride, two markers made of stone, forever side by side, and another cut afresh, that red gone before her time. Beloved inspiration, adrenaline. Adrenaline, I was your champion, and you my sacred call. To protect the life we loved, I'd gladly kill them all. Now my sword is in its scabbard, but I would wield it one last time, just to feel you in my veins, adrenaline. Just to feel you in my heart, adrenaline. Just to feel you in my arms, adrenaline.